But I'm telling you right now that it is real, that it is painful, it is brutal. And I'm standing here before you, willing to take the hate, willing to take all the negative messages and tell you that I beg you to wake up, to speak out, and to not fall for this lie.
Because McCoy's wife dropped leaked messages that might totally flip how we see the Charlie Kirk saga. Screenshots, voice notes, secret chats, every piece lined up like a scandal puzzle that makes you freeze and whisper, "Hold on, what?" If these leaks check out, this isn't just petty drama or insider whispers. It hints that Erika Kirk and a few top brass inside Turning Point USA might have known exactly what was coming before everything spectacularly collapsed.
Did Erika Kirk just accidentally expose TPUSA for lying?
How did you find out Charlie had been shot?
I was at my mom's doctor's appointment. I put my phone down and it was on silent, so I had no reason to look back at it. I moved my mom. I went back to grab my phone, and that's when Micky started calling me. Called me within seconds.
She said that Micky called her within seconds, which does line up with this clip of Micky McCoy, Charlie Kirk's chief of staff, picking up his phone as soon as Charlie was shot. We talked about this a couple weeks ago and about how bizarre and weird it was, his reaction, not running, not jumping to Charlie's aid, but instead making an immediate phone call, kind of like he knew that things were about to go down. Not saying he did, but that's what it looked like. And this led to the TPUSA folks responding, saying, no, Micky was actually not on the phone.
They're alleging that he was on the phone immediately. He was not. He was taking social videos, which he would send to our group chat, which we would then put on Charlie's social while the event was happening, so you could see like the crowd come in or his interactions. And we were only 2 questions into this event, so he was still getting it out to all the chats he needed to do, which he did at every event. He turns around, and it was so blaringly loud, I'm told. You would know this better than I, but this is what I'm told. It was so blaringly loud, and he was so shell-shocked, he put his fingers in his ear, but his phone was still in his hand.
Okay, so now we have 2 different sides of the story. Erika says that Micky called her within seconds, but Andrew Colvett here says that Micky was not on his phone, but rather just putting his hands up to cover his ears from the loud noise. Some may see this as a small detail, a potential small lie, but what I'll say to that is people who tell small lies also tend to tell bigger lies at some point. So Micky, we're going to want to see that.
Small lies have a funny way of turning into full-blown disasters. And Micky, oh Micky, maybe it's time we all peek at that call log. Because if a call really happened before the cameras started rolling, before Charlie Kirk landed in trouble, this entire saga flips on its head. Netizens dubbed it the silent betrayal. What shocked everyone most? The leaks weren't from a fame-hungry outsider. Nope, they came from the wife of the very man at the eye of the storm, calmly answering his phone seconds before everything imploded. From that moment, the once familiar footage suddenly felt different. Every word in Erika Kirk's post-incident speech, every oddly placed thank you, carried a strange chill. When your husband's chief of staff looks sketchy and his wife starts dropping private receipts, you know something's brewing behind the curtain. The internet didn't just wake up and decide. Turning Point USA was hiding something. It started with one mysterious late-night post. An anonymous account, later tied to Micky McCoy's wife, uploaded screenshots and a private audio clip. No caption, no context, just for haunting words, they all know. Within minutes, the internet lost its mind. Inside those screenshots were clues about timing, security, and one bone-chilling line, allegedly from Micky himself. Erika knew. 4 words that detonated a digital firestorm. Soon after, a trembling female voice surfaced in an audio leak. I can't stay quiet anymore. This wasn't an accident. Many swore it was Micky's wife. Others thought it was a friend trying to shield her. Whatever the case, the fear in that voice was unmistakable. And when the timestamps of the leaks matched the viral video of Micky lifting his phone seconds before the chaos, coincidence suddenly looked like a cover-up. Reddit, TikTok, and X exploded. And the internet's favorite mystery was officially born. Thousands of online detectives were freezing frames and zooming in, all obsessed with one burning question. What did Erika Kirk and the TPUSA crew actually know before the chaos hit? Because if even half those leaks were real, that day wasn't random, Panic! Was a script in motion. So, what was inside those infamous messages that sent the internet spiraling? The circulating screenshots supposedly showed a private group chat between Micky McCoy, several Turning Point USA staffers, and one contact labeled EK, believed to be Erika herself. The texts were short, but spine-chilling. Everything is ready. Stay calm. We've rehearsed this. Make sure the cameras are still rolling. Erika already knows. Those 4 words, Reka already knows, became the ghost haunting every social feed. Because if that line's legit, the entire world might have watched a setup, not a shock. Then came another twist. The leaked timestamps matched hours before the event, and at that exact time, Mikey's wife posted a cryptic Instagram story. The truth always finds its way out. It vanished within minutes, but unleashed a frenzy. Within a day, content creators and internet sleuths flooded TikTok and X with wild captions. Did TPUSA stage the whole thing? Was Charlie betrayed by his own people? And just like that, speculation turned into a digital wildfire no PR team could control.
Yeah, when the clip was brought to my attention, I obviously have a big folder of files of every angle, and I decided to track Mikey from every angle available to see, like, maybe we just missed it, and he did at some point put that phone down, dial a number, speed dial, hold down one, I don't know. Maybe we missed it, because that seems automatic, right? 0.834, that seems pretty quick. And no, he doesn't do that. We even have him in front of Charlie's car. When Charlie is brought to the car, the waiting car rather, he is still on the phone. I can show you the clip of that. Take a look at this. Don't worry, we'll slow it down for you. See him in the background with the backpack. Let's go back a little earlier in the footage and see if we can find when he actually maybe dials onto the phone. Maybe we can see him pick up the phone and begin a call before the shot takes off. And then after beginning that call, if we're following this logic, that would mean he puts his phone down until Charlie gets shot. And we were able to find what we think could be that moment. And I can tell you that it is 1 minute and 45 seconds approximately before that shot goes off. And we can watch that here. You see Mikey's on his phone here, and you're gonna see he pulls it up and he starts to cover his ear again. Now, that could be unrelated. Again, we're taking a guess here. That's what made the most sense to us because we couldn't justify it in any other way. And I wanna be clear, we're not here to make assumptions, okay? And we wouldn't have to make any assumptions if Turning Point USA could just tell the truth. They could just be open and they could be honest about everything. Okay, I obviously went out to both Micky McCoy and Andrew Kolvetz for a statement, asked those two questions. Hey, who were you on the phone with? What's going on here? No response. Weird. Because if that was me and I saw clips going viral and people were drawing conclusions from that clip, thinking that I was already on the phone, thinking that my reaction was weird, I would instantly hit back. I'd say, here's my call log. You wanna know who I was on the phone with? 911, obviously. I was freaking out. I called 911. I didn't know what I was doing. Here's my phone. Here's my whole call log for that day. This is, I don't know. I guess we live in a world where that doesn't make sense. I would have issued a statement to dispel any rumors, but they have not. Here's what I want to say, and I honestly understand I'm preaching to the choir here. Everything about this is wrong. You know it, and I know it. I actually know it better than most because I helped build that organization.
The story didn't just trend, it exploded. Every second of that event video got dissected like a crime scene. Viewers rewatched every blink, every pause in Erika Kirk's speech, convinced it wasn't grief, but choreography. But the real shocker, the leaks weren't just about the messages, they hinted at something bigger: coordination, strategy, and a silence to synchronize to be accidental. Then came the clip. You've seen it. Slow motion footage from the TPUSA tent, Charlie Kirk speaking, the crowd still, and right behind him Micky McCoy. In a split second before the chaos, Mikey lifts his phone, puts it to his ear, turns away, and strolls calmly off screen. 2 seconds. That's all it took to send the internet into a meltdown. No shock, no panic, just eerie composure. Like his body language was saying, yeah, I knew this was coming. When people matched that clip with the leaked line, stay calm if it happens, the coincidence was too orthodox to ignore. TikTok zoomed, Reddit slowed, X theorized, and soon, it became the internet's unofficial investigation. Another camera angle even caught Mikey slipping out of frame just before the moment hit. Every second lined up too neatly. For millions watching, this wasn't coincidence anymore. It was the missing piece that made the whole thing look like a perfectly rehearsed act. And then came the pause the clip at 6 seconds and watch closely Micky McCoy's lips move like he's talking on the phone. Yet there's no ringtone, no vibration, no signal, nothing. It's as if the call was already live. So when the leaks claim Erika Kirk knew, and the footage shows Mikey whispering into a connected call before the chaos, this stops being rumor and starts feeling like a pattern. The internet's new obsession. One burning question, was Mikey reporting something or giving the go-ahead? Days later, with the public still buzzing, Erika Kirk took the stage for her first emotional appearance. The lights dimmed, the crowd hushed, and she began her heartfelt tribute to her late husband. But what blew up online wasn't the terracit, was the name she couldn't stop repeating. "I want to thank the board of Turning Point USA, and my husband's incredible chief of staff, Micky McCoy." She said it once, then again, louder, clearer. "Micky McCoy is amazing." Within minutes, social media detonated. Why spotlight him? The same man seen leaving the frame seconds before the incident. The same man whose wife dropped the leaks that broke the internet. TikTok, Reddit, and X went wild. Captions read, "This sounds scripted." Reddit threads flooded with takes that her tone felt rehearsed, robotic like a performance, not grief. Even body language experts joined the fray, pointing out Erika's fleeting smile every time she said Micky's name, followed by that subtle downward glance, almost as if she were following a cue from a script the rest of us weren't supposed to see. But what really set the internet on fire was the timing. The so-called leaks from Micky McCoy's wife were already circulating when Erika Kirk took the stage, making her emotional tribute look less like grief and more like strategy. A preemptive attempt to control the narrative before the public could question Micky's role. Suddenly, that repeated thank you to Micky didn't sound like kindness. It sounded like a move, a calculated defense of a man standing at the eye of a growing storm. From there, the story unraveled fast. Just days later, Micky's father, Pastor Rob McCoy, stepped in, publicly claiming that his son was with Charlie during the chaos, helping him through the confusion. It sounded noble, emotional, but there was a glaring problem. The video says otherwise. Micky never moves toward Charlie. He doesn't help. He calmly walks out of frame, phone to his ear, disappearing behind the tent, just as the chaos begins. Then came Erika's version. In her interview with the New York Times, she claimed Micky had called her seconds after the incident, panicked, and asking for help. But the leaked timestamps tell a different story. According to those records, Micky's phone was already connected before the event even started. And that's where the contradictions exploded. Rob McCoy said Micky called him first. Erika said she was the first to hear from him, but there's no record of a group call, and no one can explain why the timestamps overlap. Both can't be true, yet both insist they are. A timeline that simply cannot coexist. From that moment, what looked like a tragic accident began to resemble something much darker, a web of conflicting accounts, calculated defenses, and digital evidence that refused to stay buried. What shocked everyone even more was Turning Point USA's official response, almost overnight. Spokesperson Rush rolled out a statement hailing Micky McCoy as a hero under extreme pressure, conveniently ignoring every glaring contradiction in the saga. Every so-called clarification only tangled the story further. The video said one thing. The defenses sounded rehearsed, and suddenly, the public wasn't asking if there was a cover-up, they were asking how many people were actually in on this, and why every explanation felt like a script rewritten 3 times, as the leaks, viral footage, and baffling timelines ignited a social media frenzy. TPUSA did what large organizations do when a story slips out of control. They went into full crisis mode. Internal reports revealed the PR team was ordered to wrest back the narrative immediately. Within hours, a flurry of articles appeared, painting Micky as a man of unwavering faith. Under fire, and loyal through chaos, carefully crafting the image of a hero while leaving the messy, contradictory truth untouched.
This is one of Charlie's guys, and it makes me so effing mad.
Hello, everyone. My name is Micky McCoy. I had the unique honor, blessing, and privilege of a lifetime to not only call Charlie a precious friend, mentor, but to travel with him literally everywhere.
Then came the over-the-top tribute videos, flashy lights, dramatic music, all perfectly choreographed to send one clear message. Micky McCoy is a hero. But the public wasn't buying it. The internet smelled something off. The timing was too perfect. Just a week after the leaks dropped, Micky took the stage at Liberty University, giving a flawless speech about Charlie Kirk's vision and legacy. No inconsistencias. No mention of the mysterious call, just a seamless, polished performance. Too many. It felt less like a memorial, and more like a rehearsed media stunt. Then things got darker. Mikey's wife vanished from social media posts deleted, accounts locked, comments disabled. Rumors swirled that TPUSA lawyers intervened to stop misinformation. But online, it looked less like protection and more like a calculated blackout. Behind closed doors, insiders whispered about updated NDAs, strict warnings for employees, and once busy Slack channels going eerily silent. Panic? Maybe? The stranger part, the harder TPUSA pushed the nothing to see here narrative, the deeper the suspicion grew. When an organization works this hard to bury a story, it usually means someone powerful has finally stepped forward. And in this case, it wasn't a journalist or a rival, it was Micky McCoy's own wife. The one person who saw the private, unfiltered side of the man, whose every frame was now under relentless social media scrutiny. The man had stayed in the shadows while his best friend faced the storm, and suddenly, the leaks proved the public wasn't seeing the whole picture. And when someone this close finally speaks, it shifts the entire story's weight. The messages linked to Micky McCoy's wife aren't harmless chatter. They carry the heavy guilt of someone who witnessed something they couldn't keep quiet about. Words like, "I wish I'd said something sooner," shook TPUSA to its core, even being half true. These leaks implied that the people Charlie Kirk trusted most might have been orchestrating events long before that fateful day. Suddenly, every flashy tribute, every carefully worded speech, every public thank you felt less like genuine grief and more like a meticulously staged damage control operation. And then the next move hit. Within days, TPUSA's top brass flooded the internet with tributes, posts, and videos lauding Micky.com. Carefully curated messaging spread comfort and protection, putting Micky McCoy front and center on podcasts, speeches, press releases. But instead of quelling suspicion, it fueled it. People sensed something deeper lurking behind the spotlight. He hadn't disappeared. He was being strategically repositioned. Meanwhile, Micky stayed silent. No public statements, no clarification about the mysterious call. No emotional display, only sparse mentions of faith, purpose, and forgiveness. His wife vanished from social media, her friends' accounts locked or deleted. Rumors circulated that she was explicitly warned to stay quiet. Every layer of silence only magnified the intrigue, leaving the public wondering what was truly happening behind the polished facade. Others claimed she was just scared, retreating into silence. But sometimes, silence screams louder than any statement. When someone falsely accused is truly innocent, they usually fight back with screenshots, videos, proof. Here, nothing. No lawsuits, no cease and desist orders, just a meticulous, staged quiet, and that's why the internet refuses to let this story fade. It doesn't feel like rumor anymore. It feels like a calculated cover-up. Every move fits a familiar pattern. Deny, mislead, disappear, now. Watching the footage with the leaks in mind, the cracks are obvious, the well-timed glances, subtle acknowledgements. The people who say just enough, but never too much. If Micky McCoy's wife truly exposed evidence that certain TPUSA insiders, maybe even Erika Kirk, were involved, this isn't random chaos anymore. It's an orchestrated tragedy masquerading as fate. And maybe that's why this story matters more than anyone admits. It's not just the event itself, it's the power, image, and loyalty that warp the truth until it seems almost inhuman. Pain becomes a brand, and those radiant smiles on stage mask secrets darker than anyone imagines. Ultimately, this isn't only about a wife's leaks, it's about who she fears most. The silent, the story rewriters, the ones endlessly repeating the name of Micky McCoy. Perhaps the louder they speak, the more terrified they are of what happens if the world finally believes her. Stories like this end the same way. Not with answers, but silence. A silence that feels like someone is lurking just outside the frame, watching, ensuring no one speaks the wrong word. And that's exactly the current reality. Weeks of speculation, leaks, and chaos later, Turning Point USA has gone utterly silent. No follow-ups, no interviews. Not even a clarifying statement from Erika Kirk. All the public sees are polished Instagram posts, new initiatives, and brief quotes about faith in dark times. too perfect. Too clean, too staged. And behind that perfection, the puzzle remains dangerously incomplete. And the missing pieces, they might be the most dangerous of all. There's the video of Micky McCoy leaving the stage just seconds before Charlie Kirk collapsed. There's his wife, dropping what she calls evidence that a group of people knew something beforehand. There are two conflicting timelines, one from Erika Kirk, one from Micky's father, and they don't line up anywhere. And finally, there's Turning Point USA, a media giant built to control narratives, yet carefully dodging the question everyone wants answered: what really happened that day? What makes this story unforgettable isn't just the chaos, it's the human element. The person standing beside you on stage, someone you trust implicitly, might know more than you do. That's the quietly terrifying part. Looking back at the smiles, handshakes, and public thanks, you start to wonder, are they mourning, or are they keeping a carefully constructed facade from crumbling? Behind those dazzling smiles is a silence so loud it almost screams. Every time someone says, "Micky McCoy is awesome," it no longer feels like a tribute. It feels scripted, a line everyone repeats until the questions stop. Then there's his wife, the only one willing to break the script. Angry, scared, or just unable to watch the illusion continue. Whatever her reason, she shattered it. And when illusions fall apart, no amount of media spin can rebuild them. What we're left with is a fractured story, conflicting timelines, deleted posts, and millions of online eyes refusing to let it fade. Because the truth never vanishes. It hides in gaps between words, in clipped footage, in statements so polished they could never be natural. Here's the lesson. In a world driven by images and perception control, silence isn't pace, it's strategy. So next time you see a story that's too smooth, too perfect, too staged, remember this one. Remember the leaks, the conflicting timelines, the forced smiles. Behind the flash, noise, and polished excuses, someone knows exactly what happened. And maybe, one day, when the silence grows unbearable, we'll finally hear it, not from speeches, but from the person who saw it all. According to public sources, this story is generating massive online attention. We report only what's of public interest, without claiming to confirm or speculate on anyone's private life. All content is for commentary and entertainment purposes. Thanks for watching until the end. If this story grabbed your attention, like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments, because every opinion helps complete the picture. Every opinion helps complete the picture.